Back in 2022, a little horror film appeared kind of out of nowhere, a film called Barbarians from director Zach Cregger. And we were all very excited, mostly because we didn't know where this guy was coming from. He was a comedian, but suddenly he's making horror movies. And mostly we were impressed by how good that movie was. We were all excited to see what he did next. Well, guess what? Next is here this week. Hey everybody, I'm McBride, the movie guy, and let's talk about that next movie, a wonderful little film called Weapons.
This is a true story that happened in my town. So this one Wednesday is like a normal day for the whole school. But today was different. Every other class had all their kids. But Mrs. Gandy's room was totally empty. And you know why? Because the night before, at 2:17 in the morning, every kid woke up, got out of bed, walked downstairs, and into the dark.
Weapons is the sophomore film from comedian turned horror director Zach Cregger. It tells the story of a group of 17 elementary school kids who go missing without a trace one night. And this is the story of how their small suburb kind of tears itself apart, trying to figure out what happened to their children. And look, let me say right off the top, kudos to this film's marketing department. They managed to put out a trailer that captures the mood of this movie without spoiling the story. And I'm very impressed with that because this is a movie that if you knew the specific of what's going to happen, well, it would kind of spoil the film for you. So kudos to the marketing guys. Now, no spoilers for me either, but suffice it to say that we follow 6 characters as they deal with the aftermath of the disappearance. We get the school teacher who's played by Julia Garner, a traumatized parent who's played by Josh Brolin, and Carrie Christopher playing the one little boy in the class who didn't go missing in the middle of the night. This is another very nice performance by a very young actor that we've had a bunch of them. This is another very nice performance by a young actor. We've had a lot of those this year. It's kind of a nice little trend. Now, first of all, I really like the story here. It's kind of a nice, it's a mystery, but with horror touches and some nice comedic moments as well. I think it really works well, especially, not to harp on this, but especially because I had no idea what was happening because it wasn't spoiled in the trailer. This is a fun ride to go on. Now, the film is anchored by some really nice performances here. Brolin is great playing the traumatized parent. Julia Garner is always solid here. That Christopher kid, I think he was very good here. And I hate to say this, but there is yet another character that they're not in the trailer. I didn't know this character was in this movie. I was surprised and thrilled when they finally showed up. And they were wonderful. I mean, I'm not going to spoil it, but boy, when you see this, just remember, Sean the movie guy said, that's a great performance. Really good performances all around in this movie. Now, the film is also visually stunning. It's Larkin Sepel doing the cinematography, and he has some really memorable and creepy images here. The shots of these kids that were being, they're silhouetted against the suburban landscape, running through the night. It kind of looks like something out of Naruto, except that their bodies are propulsively moving forward with their arms trailing behind them. Really good at making, average suburban landscapes look very creepy. Good job with the visual images here. Now, the film is, I think, it's a little bit of multiple genres here. I would say it's a mystery first and foremost. What happened to the children? But it's got some very funny moments. There's a chase here that's just hilarious. And then the ending is grand guignol. It's just very horrific, very bloody. So you get a little bit of everything, but I think it's a nice mix here. I guess technically it's a horror thriller. I think the horror stuff ultimately works very well, but it does take a while as you're trying to figure out, okay, who's the villain here? What happened to the children? And then once we figure it out, it just goes a little crazy, but a lot of fun. So look, visually stunning, great story, solid acting, nice twists here and there. I really like this movie. What can I say? It's going to be one of those films that I think people will be talking about, and not just horror fans. I think general audiences will love this as well. I give Weapons 3.5 stars out of 4. That is the second horror film this year that could easily be on my top 10 list at the end of the year here. I mean, I think it's really good. And I'm serious, I understand there are some people who don't like horror films. They probably won't see this one. This one is much more than just a horror film. And doesn't it make you excited to see another young director? Zach Krieger, he was in The Whitest Kids We Know. I mean, this is a guy that who would have thought he'd have such great horror stories in him. Good job. I think this is a great movie. But those are my thoughts. What do you think? Comment below. And don't forget, follow us on social media. Be sure to like and subscribe this channel so you always get all of my Movie Guy quick takes as soon as they hit. And of course, join us for my podcast, my weekly podcast, Two Movie Guys. My buddy Joe Fryer and I get together and we go into deeper dives on all of the week's big new movies. That's Two Movie Guys, wherever you get your podcasts. So like I said a couple of weeks ago, we are at the tail end of the summer blockbuster season. So all the films for the next month or so, they're kind of mediocre to good, or at least we hope they are, but there's no big blockbusters on the horizon. I will say this though, there's one film I am looking forward to. It's a film called Nobody 2, a sequel to the film Nobody that I really quite like. We'll talk about that next. See you then. Bye.